Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You may be seated. Please let the record show that the witness answered in the affirmative. Without objection, your written statement will be made part of the record.
Talk about just how well some of your previous executive orders are working. They tend to be announced with a lot of sound and fury, and then when you actually look at the details and the implementation, there's a lot less than what appeared to have been announced. So, for example, the lost wage assistance executive order, which turns out has proven to be a very weak and unworkable substitute for enhanced unemployment insurance. Instead of agreeing to simply extend the $600 benefit, this executive action taken last month slashes the enhanced benefits by $200 to $300 and does this by raiding a very limited FEMA disaster relief fund to cover part of the costs, and then forces cash-strapped states to pick up the rest of the bill, those that can. All right, so how is this actually working? Secretary Mnuchin, on August 10th, you said that most states would be able to execute this program, and I quote, within the next week or two. But as of Friday, only 6 states have started paying out even these reduced benefits. So can you tell us today how many Americans have actually received these limited benefits, how many are still waiting, and how many may never get them at all?
I'd be happy to get back to you with the exact statistics. I think there's something like 26 states have signed up. I am not aware of how many of them are actually paying, but we're happy to follow up with you. And again, our first choice is to have legislation. This was an area to move forward where there was not bipartisan agreement to move forward with something. And again, I think for the people who are getting those $300 or $400 checks right now, that's very meaningful, and it's half the country.
I don't think half of the country has received those checks at this point. And you know, I know the situation in Illinois where we've diligently applied to FEMA to participate in this program, but our Department of Employment Security tells us that even if it was able to be implemented, there are a huge number of issues at stake. There are too many of them to just tick off here. But among them are that it includes the fact that under the president's program, you don't get to access any benefits at all if you don't meet this arbitrary minimum weekly benefit of $100. And this includes about 55,000 claimants from Illinois, many of whom are mixed income earners who earn W-2s and work as self-employed workers or independent contractors. Also, you know, it requires states to set up a completely parallel system to administer this aid, which is a huge administrative burden when they're very busy with other things right now. And finally, it provides zero stability to workers because, you know, there's only a limited amount of FEMA money that's available to be drawn. And this, you know, the program claims to expire at the end of December, but we all know that that money is likely to be gone if it ever gets started within a few short weeks. So first, is it really true that there's only about $44 billion in FEMA disaster funds available to cover these benefits? And what do you do when that runs out?
Well, there is more FEMA money, but we wanted to make sure we had money for hurricanes and other items. So yes, we've allocated a little over $40 billion, and hopefully, again, all the more reason why we need legislation to replenish those funds and allow people to do it. And we're more than happy to follow up. I'm not aware of what the issues are in your state. We're more than happy to follow up on the specifics of that.
No, we have a very good write-up that I'll be happy to get to you on that. The second executive action is this payroll tax deferral. You know, this is another one of his sort of not very well thought out executive orders. So this, I understand, is it's a payroll tax holiday. So is it the position of the administration that this will have to be paid back by workers, you know, by next April or not?
Oh, it's quite clear that again, the president is going to go to Congress and to get authority, but we need congressional authority. This is a deferral. Again, we need congressional authority.
So the answer is yes. That the workers, as it stands right now, unless the Senate finally passes anything, we're not going to. You know, workers are going to have to pay this back.
Again, this is like other tax deferrals that we gave, which were very helpful to people. And yes, this is money in people's pocket that they need now that is very important and very meaningful.
Okay, and now how does the president has proposed various mechanisms for paying this back, including basically defunding Social Security or Social Security funds to pay for it. Is this your plan? Is that what you're proposing?
No, that's completely inaccurate. Okay, this is a deferral, so it will be paid back. And if we pass legislation, then in the legislation, this would come out of the general fund and make Social Security 100% whole. We have no intention of having this cost 1 penny out of the Social Security Trust Fund, which I might add I'm the managing trustee of.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that second video just to make you think. And basically, we see everything being set up. What I teach you is that everything is planned out. Now, basically, this is Steve Mnuchin testifying. This was September 1st about the C word and how things are going. Now, we know that Trump did an executive order. We know nothing came out of it. It's only like 5 or 6 states that are getting the additional benefits. And we've seen them get sworn in. You see how easy it is for the politicians to lie. It's easy. Just because you're sworn in don't mean you're going to be telling the truth. Now, we know with the payroll tax, he clearly said deferral. He kept saying deferral. And guys, we know what deferral means. It means that it's being pushed back, so eventually you're going to have to pay for it. Legislation has to be put in effect for it not to be taken out of Social Security. But remember, that's their point. Their point is to bankrupt every state. That's their point. Bankrupt every state and to take your Social Security. They want everything. They want it all, guys. Don't forget what Anthony Sutton said. They've been at war with the United States since the 1800s, guys. And because the states are going to be bankrupt, what's going to come next? That's right, universal basic income. And it's going to be paid by how? Cryptocurrencies. So, guys, we see it clearly coming together. And then, of course, we have Trump leading us into what? World War III. Don't forget, you never let a crisis go to waste. You can do things you've never been able to do. Now, remember, I played the video of them clearly saying that they took Iran's oil that was going to Venezuela. Told us where it was going to Houston. Now they have just announced new sanctions on Iran. Now, don't forget about 5.5, 6 years ago, Japan passed a law that their soldiers can fight abroad. And then, of course, basically, we're still battling with China. Remember I said that we're going to have World War III, United States versus China. Of course, we know this. Anthony Sutton did the work, and we see everything playing out today. We gave all the technology to China. We gave them all of our military secrets. We know this was under Clinton. So, guys, you thought the C word was something big. You wait till what they have in store next. But y'all have a wonderful day.
On oil, the U.S. this week seized 4 Iranian oil tankers going towards Venezuela.
Yeah, not supposed to do that.
Yeah, they're going to go to Houston. I'm wondering what you're going to do with that oil, and if this is
We'll be announcing we have 4 tankers. They're going to Houston, and they're there. They're not supposed to be doing that. Iran's not supposed to be doing that. And so we did. We seized the tankers, and we're moving them and moved to Houston. You will have a crash like you've never seen before. And I've been very good at predicting these things. Yeah, please go ahead. We are upset with China because of what they did. China was not good. And China will be, if you look at what's going to happen, whether it's Iran, Iran will make a deal with us in a month after the election's over if we win the election. But their greatest dream in the world is that Joe Biden wins because they will own this country. China will own this country. North Korea will own this country. They will own our country. And they're all waiting to see the election. And if we have a win on November 3rd, we will have a deal with, in my opinion, Iran within 1 month. And I don't know that we want to have a deal with China, to be honest with you. So I'm saying to myself, gee, but China wants us to lose very badly. And with that being said, China's purchased the most amount of corn in history. Last week they purchased the 2 largest days in the history of corn purchase. and a massive amount of soybeans, also cattle. So China's been buying a lot of things, and they're doing that to keep me happy, but they're dreaming about Joe Biden. They would love to have that happen, but I don't think that's going to happen. They are dreaming about him, and so is Iran dreaming about Joe, and so are numerous other countries. They dream about it because if that happens, they'll own the United States. And China, I can tell you specifically, will own the United States. Can't let that happen.
Japan's new security laws took effect on Tuesday, enabling its troops to fight overseas for the first time since World War II. The laws largely expand the role of the self-defense forces overseas. The country is now allowed to exercise the right to collective self-defense or coming to the aid of the United States and other nations under armed attack, even if Japan itself is not. But the law remains controversial among members of the public who fear it could erode Japan's post-war pacifism. Hundreds of people, including high school students, joined protests across the country over the weekend. A survey conducted by Japan's Kyodo News Agency indicates nearly half of the population voted no for the change.
中方在本国领土上开展相关建设，完全是主权范围内的事儿，与军事化无关。中方企业和个人参与本国建设活动，合理合法，无可厚非。美方因中方企业和个人参与本国相关建设而对其实施非法制裁，毫无道理。美方此举粗暴干涉了中国内政，违反国际法和国际关系基本准则，完全是霸道逻辑、强权政治。中方对此坚决反对。